So my question for you today on our video is about age. Yeah, age. What do you think is the right age range? Higher, lower, male, female? I'm really curious about this. So I want to make sure that you get involved in this conversation because as a professional matchmaker, I find that people are really stuck on an age. And sometimes it makes sense and sometimes it totally is just preconceived notions. So I want to get this conversation really going. I've been a matchmaker for almost 9 years. And I'll tell you, before I became a matchmaker, I had my own preconceived notions, but being the person who knows each of these individuals behind the curtain, I've totally opened my perspective. I am Jacqueline, professional matchmaker and founder of Discover Love Matches, professional matchmaking in the Northwest area. And I really have to say, because I have such an incredible age range of clients, they are the ones that have taught me such a new perspective. And I'm very excited to explore this because I think that people are missing match opportunities because they're so glued on what they think an age is. Which, I mean, I get there's certain ages that are really necessary. Like you're going to have babies. You want to have somebody that can have babies young with you. And if you're both wanting to retire and things like that makes a difference. If you don't want somebody so young that they have to still work full time and you're done working. But let's really peel back some layers here. I have clients that are in their mid-20s to their mid-80s. And when I talk to clients, it's really interesting that it has more to do with the connection when they describe the person. I know that a lot of people ask me, oh, do you get those older men that just want the younger women just be a sugar daddy? And we actually don't get that. We don't attract that audience. We do get men that can provide a great lifestyle, but they're not looking for a woman that just wants to be bought. They're looking for women that want to enjoy the whole lifestyle. So when people ask me a lot about how I match, I actually don't match on age. I match on lifestyle. I match on the chapter in life that you're on. Many years ago, a couple years into my agency, I had this wonderful, wonderful lady, and she's just dynamic, incredibly brilliant, beautiful, gorgeous, single mom, and matched with a variety of people. And she just really knew what she wanted and the type of person she wanted. So when I met this gentleman that I wanted to introduce her to, I told her all about him. And then I told her that he was 14 years older. And it didn't even faze me because they were such a perfect match. Well, when I told her his age, she actually stopped and paused and hesitated. And then she reached out to her dad and said, hey, Dad, my matchmaker suggested this guy, but he's 14 years older. What do you think? And his response was, well, you hired her, didn't you? So she respected his opinion and mine. And then she also said, I just want another man to have my phone number. So will you physically introduce us? And of course, I was more than happy to do so. And then when the two of them came together, nobody looked at the other person on age. He wasn't asking me to find somebody younger. She wasn't asking me to find somebody significantly older. It was just a match. And it was wonderful because right after the first date, she said she gave him her number. And you know what? It was, gosh, I think like a year and a half later, they were married. They have a daughter now. But she could have denied herself this chance because he wasn't in the age range she had preconceived. And the life they have now wouldn't exist if she let that be a hang-up. So thankfully her dad gave the extra support to my professional guidance. But this also leads way to many other people that I connect with. I've sent match suggestions to clients many times and they will cancel it out before even asking if the person would date with the age range because the person fits every single thing they have on their wish list. They just happen to be born a little sooner or a little later. And it always kind of bums me out as the matchmaker because I see beyond the person. So I'm wondering if you've ever been in a situation when dating that somebody significantly older or significantly younger showed an interest in you, and how did you respond? Last year, I got asked out by so many people way younger than me, and I was a young mom, so my kids are pretty close to my age as it is, so that's always kind of weird, but I also realized that there's different levels of maturity, there's different levels of understanding, there's different levels of experience, and it's been very delightful to meet people at different ages, but mostly it's been delightful to meet people at different chapters in their life. I once dated a guy and he told me that men are told they can date half their age plus 7. I don't know. Have you heard that one? I thought that was pretty funny. But it kind of fits in that realm of what they're talking about. And most people say they would never date somebody younger than their own children. It depends, obviously, age range. And then there's people like, I had a gentleman in his 60s still want to have children. So he was really being curious. He didn't quite decide to do it yet, but he wanted to meet somebody who was early 30s that would want to have children, maybe even late 20s. And it wasn't in a creepy way. It was more in a way that he just wanted somebody that was young and fresh and ready to start building a family. And he had a long family history ahead of him. His entire family lived really long. So to him, that didn't feel old. And it's interesting because a lot of times I'll tell clients about someone and they're already in their mind, they're like, oh, that age is like this. And I just recently saw a friend of mine make a Facebook post and somebody complimented her on just how beautiful she is. And she's like, well, what should I look like, at my age? And it is this preconceived notion of how we've done ageism and how we've decided how people are. I mean, the reality is that women in their 40s have probably the sex drive of men in their early 20s. And so that's just a cruel joke of the universe. But too often we're missing these connection opportunities. I just heard from one of my gentlemen telling me, he goes, I really think that women want sex more than men in their middle-age time. And it's probably true. And there's an opportunity that's getting missed here. So what is it about age? What is it that this number locks in our head? I do get the, things in common like music, who knows what a rotary dial is, places that you've been and traveled and experienced. But I also believe souls just find each other. Souls travel in different times and there's an experience. And so we need to say, yes, if you feel a connection with somebody, age-appropriate realm, and you want to have a chance to talk to them, let yourself talk to them. But also, if you're told about somebody who's just not quite in the age numbers that you blocked yourself into, what if you just opened up and said, well, let's just meet. Maybe I'll be pleasantly surprised. There are so many clients that come in and meet with me for consultation. And if I didn't have on paper what their age was, I would think that they were a lot younger and some a lot older than they are. It's how we carry ourselves. It's how we look at life. It's how we're enjoying it. Do we have passion? Do we have excitement? But also, there comes a time in life when you do want to slow down. You don't necessarily decide that at 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, but you do have times when it would just be nice to not have to run around so much and not be so busy. And that doesn't necessarily mean how old you are. It often has to do with where life is. Things have calmed down. The kids are grown. There's advantage to financial security. The health is good. The desire to just be free to travel and explore. So next time you're checking out somebody's profile, or you're meeting somebody in an event, or someone comes up and compliments you, stop and just accept that compliment, accept that moment, be present, and let yourself enjoy. You can learn a lot from somebody much younger and somebody much older, as long as both people are mutually respected. And there's just something really sexy about getting to know somebody for who they are and not just for how many times they've lived to celebrate a birthday, and focus more on, do they give you butterflies? Do you get excited to see each other? Is it mutually satisfying? Is it mutually exciting? Together you can figure out if you're not in the right chapter, but sometimes chemistry just needs to be chemistry. So I challenge you to comment below. Of course, I want you to like and subscribe, but I want you to start thinking about this in a way of getting to know people. There's like that Netflix show where it's huge age differences and let me tell you, don't watch that before you go to sleep because then you get weird dreams later. But that's the extreme. The people that have 30, 40, 50-year age differences and actively pursue somebody with an age difference. I'm talking about the people that are just show up in your life and the opportunities that you have, and to look at them as a whole person, not just their age. Because I can tell you, I know a whole lot of really old 40 and 50-year-olds, and I know a lot of really young 60, 70, and 80-year-olds. So let's look at the person as a full person and a real soul and a genuine need to connect. No need to be a little extra lonely when there's an awesome person who wants to get to know you for you. So tell me your stories. Let me know your age ranges and good possibilities that came from it, and how we can all learn to be a little more open and a little less age limiting. I am Jacqueline, professional matchmaker, and I'm excited to find more passion in your life at any age.